Are we going to see the greatest comeback in sports history on June 29th in Las Vegas, Nevada?
Well, I don't know if I'd call it the greatest comeback in sports history, but yeah, I mean, as of right now, yeah, June 29th is the date, and we are preparing for it. So, man, like you said, it was a good start to the new year. Obviously, this is something that's been a year in the making now after the Ultimate Fighter, and here we go, International Fight Week, June 29th. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, obviously the UFC is, the UFC is doing it how they are doing it, how they do it, and obviously we all know it's never 100% officially confirmed until number one we actually stepped in the octagon, but before that, and when the UFC comes out with it. But obviously, my team has been in touch with the UFC, and yeah, June 29th is what I'm preparing for. I'm leaving my family here in the next couple weeks to head down to Florida to get into fight camp, the fight camp that has been looming now for a year. And yeah, June 29th, we take this dude's head off.
Did you know what he was going to say in this video?
I mean, I had an idea, but you never quite know. Is it going to be another troll job? Is it going to be another, Conor, the center of attention deal? Is it going to be silence? Is he going to, what tactic is he going to use again to keep everybody on the edge of their seats? You know, not just me. Obviously, he's done a lot of things over the last year or so that was directly intended for me to hear, and it directly intended for my team to hear, that everybody ran with. And I have a way of doing things. Obviously keeping quiet is one of them. Not letting things bother me is one of them. We spent 5 weeks together. He couldn't really get under my skin. I think he realizes that, so he's trying more and more to do all kinds of things over the last year. So you never quite know what you're going to get with this dude. But I do know what I'm going to get June 29th, and that's a W. So I'm excited about it.
So, like, what percent confidence level do you have that this fight, I mean, you will be fighting Conor McGregor on June 29th?
I have 100% confidence that I'm fighting Conor McGregor June 29th. Now, with that being said, like I said, whether it's Conor or anybody, it's a crazy sport. Injuries happen, sicknesses happen. The fight isn't actually happening until both of us are in the cage and Bruce Buffer starts announcing us, right? Or that bell rings. Now with Conor, one thing I will give him credit for, go back his entire career, when he says he's going to come to a fight and be at a fight, has he ever pulled out of a fight? Has the opponent ever switched on his accord? It's always been someone else. Someone else has pulled out of a fight. You people can say what they want about Conor, and I have no problem giving the man his props. He does what he says he's going to do when it comes to who he's fighting, where he's fighting, when he's fighting, what weight he's fighting, and all the different stipulations around things. So that's one thing that I have 100% confidence in, and that is one thing that I will tip my hat to him on. Man, June 29th, International Fight Week. The like you said, the greatest comeback in sports history, he calls it. Let's see how he fares.
What do you make of this 185? And ultimately, do you think it's going to take place in 185?
Ultimately, I'm 50-50 on it, and it doesn't matter. I mean, I spent 5 weeks around Conor. I don't care whether he wants to fight at 185, 170, 205, whatever it might be. You got to remember, he doesn't want to fight 155 because he wants everybody to believe that he's bigger than he is. He can't fight at he, in his mind, can't fight at 170 because I called him out at 170. Therefore, I'm not doing as I told. He's doing what I said at 170. So he had to say 185, just like he did in the intro scene of The Ultimate Fighter, telling me it was going to be at 185. I don't give a rip about what the weight is. I'm able to fluctuate my weight. I don't need to bulk up to make 185. 185 would be easy and fun to make. So the UFC and Conor can kind of figure that out, and then let me know what they're thinking, and I can have an opinion on it. But as of right now, I could care less about the weight. The date and the opponent was all that matters. I have no problem with what people say. I have no problem with people's opinions. Everybody's got an opinion, and who cares? You'll never get to where you're going if you try to throw rocks at every single dog that barks along the way, right? So I could care less. I've heard enough, and I've been in the loop enough with the UFC, my team, myself, with the UFC since February, when the Ultimate Fighter since the Ultimate Fighter got announced and then started in mid-February, whatever it was, right? I've heard enough weekly to know that this fight was going to happen, and it was going to be Chandler versus McGregor the entire time. I don't need to be going out and seeking interviews to remind everybody, hey guys, stop telling me that this fight isn't going to happen, because it is going to happen. I don't need to do that, because I also don't care what people think. So has it gotten a little bit annoying? Of course, I am human. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not. But yeah, man, it's all a part of it. It's all a part of the game. Conor will use it, and I'll take that quote unquote back seat to him the entire time. And if he thinks he's taking a fight against a lesser man, then so be it. He'll find out on June 29th. That being said, Conor's skill set, I don't think it's where it used to be. I don't think Conor is as scary as he used to be back in those days. That's just my personal opinion. And I also don't care if it's Conor or anybody else. I'm not seeing Conor McGregor. I'm seeing a head, 2 arms and 2 legs, and a guy about my size. So either way, I've always just focused on dismantling whatever was in front of me, no matter what the name was. And yeah, I mean, I'm interested to hear how it goes over these next couple months and how I feel. And I'm interested to be in that fire because I've never shied away from a challenge. I've never shied away from throwing myself into the deep water to find out how I come out on the other side. So it's going to be fun, but I got a sneaky suspicion I knocked this dude out within the first 2 rounds.
I got 2 more questions for you. One is, do you think you'll be the last person that Conor McGregor ever fights?
I do. I think I'll be the last I think he's lost fights. But I think we haven't really seen him be dominated. He was getting beat by Poirier, and then obviously had the injury. He got beat by Poirier, the first time, obviously. But I think I dominate him in a fashion that it's almost as if he can keep trying to come back, but he will have lost the fans' interest so much more after I do what I'm going to do to him on June 29th.
Will there be some level of satisfaction? And when you say you think you're going to knock this guy unconscious, will there be some sort of personal level of satisfaction doing it to him personally? Has it reached that point to you? Like when you compare it to some of the other instances in your fighting career and your wrestling career, like has it reached that level, or is it still just a guy to you at this point?
No, there's definitely a certain aspect of that revenge aspect, make him pay for the last year. Some of it was outside of his control, but a lot of it he created. I knew what I signed up for. I knew I signed up to do the Ultimate Fighter against a guy who was coming back from a devastating leg injury, and it could have been, delayed. But I didn't think it would be delayed this long, and all of that is just deposits in the bank of me just wanting to absolutely smash this dude. Now I want to stay within myself. I don't need to get emotional about it and fight outside of myself, but there will be an extra hint of satisfaction of, I think, ending this guy's career. I think doing something on the biggest stage I could have asked for, the stage I've been asking for and looking forward to since we signed on the dotted line for the Ultimate Fighter. And yeah, man, it's been a great career. And I still got a lot of gas left in the tank even after this. So I'm ready to dismantle this guy and then see what's next. Hopefully the title.